Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. This is another beautiful episode of Zero Point Healing Show. This is episode number 46, I believe. And in this show, we are going to discuss about how to heal abandonment and loneliness wound. I like that word wound because it's important that we understand, in fact, it is a wound in our heart, might be, however you want to call it. But what happens when we have that wound which is really deep, and how it affects our life and how we can heal, that is what this whole session is going to be about. And today I have with me Christine, who is a completion process certified facilitator. She is also certified in multiple other modalities. We are going to discuss about her with her today. Before I move on to her, a short intro about me. I am Vishnupriya, and I'm a healer myself in multiple different modalities, and I'm the founder of zeropointhealing.com. It is a web directory that I have created for healers and therapists and facilitators who are transforming this world, who are creating a change in humans' lives. And at this time on earth, I think this holistic healing service is so important for us to let go of our pain and suffering and go to a new world that can be filled with love and joy and happiness. So it's my effort to bring all healers and therapists and facilitators together in one platform so we can unite and we can join as we do this transformation process. So if you're a healer, a therapist, or a facilitator yourself, I would love for you to visit zeropointhealing.com, and you can register for free. You can add your profile. And if you're interested in doing this kind of interview with me, you can contact me for that as well. All right. So I'm moving on to Christine. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much for coming to my show. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey towards into this kind of holistic healing. What motivated you, inspired you to come into this sector?
First of all, thank you very much, Vishnupriya, to have me, right? So how I came across all of this, first of all, I think what really drove me onto that journey was actually my pain in me, and that I was born premature, like I was placed in an incubator just right away. I had no contact to my mom. And I think this imprint that actually you would need as a baby, you would need holding, hearing the heartbeat of mom, and feel the skin, and you need this nourishment, and it was not given to me. So I created a life where I was like toughing myself up, and I was when I was a teenager, I was actually starting to cope with different mechanisms. I started drinking alcohol in my early 20s. I also tried drugs, and I was all these I tried to numb myself. And I think it was around when I was 25, I came across like a new way of seeing the world through actually a travel. I saw that people are smiling in Thailand all the time, and it was like, why they are so happy and I'm so moody all the time, right? Like I was grumpy. I was for sure having fun when I was celebrating and doing party, but actually I was not really happy. So I started to make a pact with myself to stop being moody. And so I think this was kind of a turning point where I started to actually adjust my habits. But I realized soon, hey, the habits are actually kicking in again. And there was also around this time, I was thinking of moving out of my apartment and being no longer alone. And I searched for community. And I ended up in a community in Switzerland where I'm still living today. And there actually my like the boost of like what I am today started. Like this was the huge turning point where I saw, okay, so much is possible in life, but I don't have it. Even I was already so close, I still felt like super lonely. And even I was living in a community, people were so close, but not close to me. I was still the lonely wolf somehow. So I realized I need to do something, and I came across possibility and in 2012, where I discovered a lot of different kind of methods, tools, healing modalities to understand actually what is going on in myself. And this led me also, like the next step was to come across Teal Swan, what the completion process is all about, and which was actually bringing, first of all, healing to myself. And then I realized, hey, wow, I have so much fun doing this. I want to do that. I came closer to actually what I would say like the purpose in life, to my inner longing of serving people, and to pass things on what I'm really good in. And that's, I know how to heal myself, and that's why I want to pass it on.
That is so nice. So now moving into the topic of abandonment and loneliness. So I think you've picked the right topic that resonates with you as well, because from your story we are able to understand how much you should have worked on yourself to get out of all of that past that you were discussing about. So getting into it, so maybe you can first of all tell us how you were able to heal your abandonment and the loneliness wound, and how does that relate. And I was also thinking another important information that we can give for our viewers would be how these wounds that are created in our childhood, emotional wounds, can actually affect us regardless of we are 30 or 40 or 50. It's still as if it's a baggage that we are carrying around. So tell us the link between that as well.
So how I understand it, first of all, I want to give you like the understanding how I think emotions actually are repeating themselves. It's like you can see it as like there was an imprint between from actually 0 to 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. And in this time frame, we are creating our imprints, our emotions, our personality is built. Because there we did not have the cognitive understanding developed yet. So actually we are not able to think us out of a situation. So when something is happening, it's like it's immediate. It's like it's 100%, it's there, right? This is why kids are like screaming like hell when they want something. It's like it's now, yeah. They now want the chocolate and now want something, and when it's not happening, it's like okay, wow. So and when something is happening in there, it's just a start, and it starts to loop. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's why people often say, hey, I saw this theater actually. I saw the same thing happening again and again. I have relationship patterns like, oh, I attract the same men or the same women. Maybe they are even like my dad or my mom, you know, like, hey, why I'm always attracting these guys who are not the best ones, right? They don't want to commit. This is what happens actually to me, right? So I want to be very practical so that people can grab it. There are different kind of, like I had 2 different kind of types of abandonment. Like first, for sure, what was happening when I was brought to the incubator. There was such an anger in my system that my mom was not there. So actually I was 35 when I realized that I actually was shooting my mom underneath, like subtly, every day. With every single sentence I told her my whole life, I was actually telling her, you were not there. you were not there, you were not there. And that sucked, you know, like I was complaining and I was blaming her subconsciously my whole life. And my mom often said to me, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, you are shooting against me, right? And I was like, no, I'm not shooting. For me, it was normal, right? Like, I'm not shooting. This is how I am. But actually, I was shooting. And I needed to get 35 to understand that. On the other side, there's the abandonment with my dad. He was emotionally not really available. He was working. So actually, he was there, but just in the background, bringing the money into the family. But he was not there when I would have needed him. And when I needed him, when I was already like in my teens, he was like letting me drop. He was not like, or he would actually question my actions instead of supporting me. But the start was actually when I was a baby and I was little. He was not I was not the favorite of my dad. What is so often happening with the little girls and the daddies, for me, this was not right. So I also chose a lot men who were not available, who were actually not committing to be in contact with me. And so these are these two threads. Like with the women, it was more like I was afraid of women. I was afraid of women. When I came to the community, for example, at the beginning, there were 2/3 of women in the community. And it took me 2 years to understand that actually I was not trusting any of these women in different ways, right? But I wanted to trust them. So the first thing was to admit that I was not trusting. And so I could actually, and to speak it up. I was sitting in a women's circle, I remember, and I was sharing, like, actually, I was starting crying and I was really breaking down and say, I don't trust you ladies. I don't know what to do and I don't know why, but actually I'm not trusting you because of that and that and that and that. So I think the first thing is to admit that you have this actually pushing away. Even you want to have people closer, to realize that you push them actually away. I think this is also a turning point on the path of healing, right? Yeah.
That's so beautifully said, and I love how you mentioned all of that. So now let's get into the completion process and how completion process can heal. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about how completion process actually helped you heal from your wounds and trauma that you had went through. And tell us a little bit about the structure of the completion process session, how long it takes, and what is being done in the session.
So first, to start with the technical things, I guess, would make sense. So for me, the completion process, like every practitioner is working a bit different, right? At the beginning, when we had the training, it was like, the process is over when it's over. So actually they say, hey, when it takes 4 hours, it takes 4 hours. Through the years, you're I don't know, it feels like I can hold the space and I can actually frame it in the way and hold it that it lasts around 2 hours. So the first half an hour of the session is to get to know you better, or like we had already like a get to know call before. So it's about like, what is now, to get to know you in the now, and what is on the surface and what topics are bubbling up, or maybe some clients are coming with a specific topic, and then we check, okay, how can we enter into that? Because what we need for the completion process is actually a really explicit situation where you got triggered, where you say, hey, when I talk to this friend, or when I talk to mom, dad, whatever, it makes me so angry, or I'm freezing, or whatever. You need a specific situation, and then you can go into the system, and I guide the people into their bodies where they feel tension, and then they can check how is the tension, and through that kind of anchor, they are diving deeper into the emotional body. And as soon the emotional body is entered, or like getting more liquid, I would say, we are tapping into the memories when it was actually set up. This specific tension has kind of a home, it's a home place, right, in the system. So we can enter into the emotional body to regain the memory back, and then we are adjusting the memory. It's kind of going back into the quantum field and adjusting and modifying. That relief is happening, and then we can go further into a kind of a healing space where integration and fixating the qualities which were called back into the system are cared nicely, and it's kind of this homey, cozy space inside of us where we feel super safe and everything is fine, right? And this is then the closure, and then we are coming back into the 3D, I call it, and then yeah, it's kind of a really very active process, I would say. Sometimes more in the, for sure the mind is supporting, right, but it's always in a field where everything is possible. It's not just we are thinking about something, but the whole system is taken along.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what kind of current issues do clients come to you for? Is it that they don't feel good, or what may be anxiety or depression, or however it is manifesting? Can you tell us what maybe a list of how these issues can present itself in our current life?
Like a lot of people come with me with actually relationship problems in different ways. They feel lonely. For me, it's also a relationship problem because it starts with yourself. You have not like you have not a close relationship to yourself. You are fragmented, right? So you need to regain this different kind of aspects which are actually inside yourself, feel very lonely. So all kinds of relationship topics. Yeah, this is mainly the same. It's like I want to get close to my partner, or I'm resisting. Like what I see is a lot of people come when they read the completion process book and they tried to do the CP on their own, and they realize like I'm always like stuck somewhere, or I switch back into the head, and I cannot hold these different kind of perspective to move myself through a process and to be in the process. It's kind of a workout. You need to learn. It's like it's a workout. And so people come to me when they want to get equipped, I would say, for that they get ready. It's not like I need healing and please do it, because this is not my approach. I want to equip people that they afterwards, actually, they don't need me anymore. Maybe for the big ones. And they say, okay, poof, I tried 3 times. I'm going to call Christine and ask for help. But actually, I want to equip them that they have enough information and experience how this 18-step wave is actually naturally flowing through their system.
That's beautiful. So to my viewers, with completion process, as you are able to hear from Christine, it's an 18-step process that you do usually one-on-one session, and it takes from 90 minutes to as long as however it takes. So that's how the process is, and due to that, we are not able to show any kind of free or a demo healing, which we usually do in this interview show. So instead of that, I have asked Christine about something else of value that she can give us today. And she has a beautiful list of things that we can do and try it ourselves at home. So let's get started with that, Christine.
Yeah, I thought about like, okay, what can I do? And actually for me, the step how to start feeling is so necessary for the healing process. So first of all, because people often start and say, I don't feel anything, right? The first distinction I want to give you is like, we are feeling all the time, always, right? The question is, do we numb ourselves, that there is actually like a blockage in our system, but underneath it's bubbling. So we are feeling. So it's not like we are the weirdos, we are not feeling, we are all feeling, right? And when we are numbing ourselves, it's a coping mechanism. That's also to say it's not a bad thing, but it's actually, there is something underneath, and it might be too strong, or the story is like it is too painful or too huge. I cannot handle it. So we numb ourselves. And from the possibility management, which is also a fundament of my work, I got a really beautiful, simple way of looking at feelings, that we have just 4 territories. It's like, for sure there are sub domains, but it makes it so simple. So we have anger, fear, sadness, and joy. So that's it. And you can put all the things into these categories, or for example, jealousy is a mix of fear, sadness, and anger. So it's very simple and very easy to handle. And what I want to invite as an exercise, that you start to make check-ins with yourself every day, twice a day, 5 minutes, to write the following, or like to answer the following questions. And they are super simple. It's like, I feel sad because, and then you write whatever comes up, and you start again. I feel sad because, and again, I feel sad because, and empty your system about the sadness. And then you take the same thing, the next one. I feel anger because, and then I feel fear because, and I feel joy because. And you do that for 5 minutes, or you can do it half an hour, whatever you, because we are always feeling. So you could also do it for the whole day. But first of all, to start with this, that you get an understanding what is actually the feeling, because what we are also mixing is that people say, I feel that tomorrow something is not going well because of something, but actually that it's not a feeling. It's a story. So actually there's something missing, right? When you say, there's something going on. Yeah, but what is it? So what I hear when I would hear another person saying this is like, I feel fear because I think that tomorrow there will happen something strange, right? So to have this understanding that we are mixing this up is a huge thing. So how can we really start to feel when we have not the understanding of, this is what I feel? When we are always describing a story instead of a feeling. So that's what the exercise for, that you understand there's always a feeling plus a story attached, right? So this is the thing. And then another distinction is about feeling and emotion. Like a feeling is a pure energy, which a different taste, like anger and sadness and fear and joy, they have different tastes and purposes, right? I could talk for hours about this topic, but just to say, they have different qualities and different purposes. And there are emotions, which are also in our system, but they have another purpose. So the feelings are actually there for handling. They are informing us, like the little kids. They are giggling when they are happy, and they give us the information like, hey, I'm happy, I'm fine, right? You can play with me, whatever, but I'm fine. When they are angry, they are just letting it through the system, and then once they get fed, they are done, right? They're, oh, they changed the diapers, done. They're not screaming anymore. It's done. So these are feelings. It's kind of, these energies are informing us to handling our life. The emotion is something different. It's stuck in our kind of, it's a feeling which was not felt when we were little. So there is a kind of a story attached to it. And this story still has charge. There, out of this space, also the patterns, the decisions we made in life are born, right? And these kind of energy-filled patterns, they are actually asking us for healing and not for something else. But the thing is that an emotion and a feeling have the same taste, the same flavor. They are just feeling the same, right? So how can we distinguish that this is an emotion and this is a feeling? So I give you a tip. And a feeling is latest finished after 3 minutes. Like when it's done, it's done. Like the kids, they're running through the system, right? An emotion sticks there until you heal it and integrate it. So actually, when you're totally pissed on your colleague, right? Wait 24 hours, then you're still pissed. You can be sure it's an emotion. It's actually not related to the situation. You're projecting something onto your colleague. So this is the distinction. Like you can observe it for more than an hour, and then you can be sure. But you can be 100% sure after 24 hours. You have no excuse anymore. So these distinctions I wanted to give you, like that a feeling and an emotion is not the same, and people are mixing it up, especially when they say, oh, you're so emotional. That's somehow true, but it's actually, it comes often as a complaining, from a complaining and not a compassionate space. And we have all emotions, everyone. So we would be better to stop saying this. You're so emotional.
All right. I hope you can hear me. I was on mute. I love it. I love the way you described emotions and feelings. So, as per your perspective, feelings are things that we feel in our day-to-day life. Today, I woke up in the morning and I did something, it did not go well, and I was like totally angry. And then few minutes later, I don't even remember that, and I'm not angry anymore for that situation. So that maybe we can put it under the feelings category, which is not wrong. We are humans and we are this feeling beings. And therefore all those feelings are here for us to feel it. So that you put inside the feeling category. And then in the emotions, 1 year back, I had fight with somebody and I'm still angry at that person until today.
It's an emotion. Definitely.
That's an emotion, and meaning that needs healing. And either you sit with yourself and heal it by yourself and let it go and heal yourself until you let it go, or you can work with a practitioner or a healer or a facilitator, whoever that is, whichever healing modality that is, and you can let that go until those emotions are with you. It is somehow affecting you in your current life. Is that a good statement to put there as well?
Definitely. It's like you're projecting actually then your mom, your dad, because they are mainly, or maybe you grew up with grandma and grandpa, but like your first parenting figures, you had issues with them, and then you're projecting it onto your colleague, right? And I think this is then the first step to find out actually to whom I'm addressing the anger. Is it really the guy over there or the colleague over there? Is it, or do I still call, like, I'm fighting against dad or mom? So, and when you have a conscious person on the other side, you can also ask the person, say, hey, I would love to have a conversation and to find out what is happening. And we are doing this in the community. Like, people who are actually triggering us are helping us to see whom we are projecting onto them, right? So this can be, like, for me, it's like this the Champions League, right? when you have these people or a field where you can just say, hey, whoa, yesterday when you said this, you triggered me like hell. Can we have a talk about it? And you're not coming with and you are the fault and you are the person who triggered me, but like, hey, I need your support because I want to find out my own projection, right? And want to get clear about that. So yeah, this is
that's nice. And going back to the exercise that you discussed about the 4 emotions: anger, sadness, fear, and joy. And by doing this exercise, as you said, I feel anger because this, and keep writing it until you have all the anger covered, and then I feel sadness, so I feel sad. So you'll be writing this list of things. So by doing this, what do you think can be the end result? Are we letting go of those emotions by writing it, or what's the result that we are expecting?
They're not going away. When there are emotions, for sure, and they can weaken up because they have you as soon as you pay attention to something and really like focus on it, it weakens up, because like, the person is finally paying attention. It's like the little girl in us who is feeling angry feels like, oh, she's looking at me finally, right? So it's kind of, it can reduce, but when it's an emotion, you need to integrate it in a healing modality, whatever you use. But what really gives you this exercise is clarity, that we are mixing so often our stories, and we are mixing feelings with story. And to get clarity about that we are actually angry, and we are actually sad, and we are actually afraid of something, it's eye-opening. It's like, yeah, this is what it's all about. And as soon as you have clarity, you can go for healing modalities. You can reach out to people because you see, oh wow, this is what I'm writing like since 2 weeks, right? And it is not going away. So maybe this is a good sign I reach out to someone.
That is so beautiful. Wow, I learned a lot of stuff today. Thank you so much. All right, so we are nearing the time. My dear viewers, if you would like to have a session with Christine, we have posted her link below. You can click on that. And she has many different modalities as well that she is focusing on. But I think this interview and everything that we spoke about kind of covers the work that she is doing and what she can help you with. And I hope you really loved the tool. I'm going to use that myself, by the way, and really, really loved it. And as a special bonus to you, we have a 10% off discount coupon. Just for watching this video, you can, when you're contacting Christine, you can tell her the coupon code 0 point, and she will be giving you a 10% off discount on your first booking. Thank you so much, Christine. That was a wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Vishnupriya. It was lovely, and to share with your audience everything what I know, like apart what I know, but to give a glimpse. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And my dear viewers, if you're watching this on YouTube, please share and subscribe. The more subscribers we have, the more the video is gonna spread to others who are in seek of help. And if you personally know of somebody who's going through this kind of emotional wounds, or the anger and the frustration and the sadness, then please do share this video with them. This is going to help them, especially the tool that she has given us is going to help them. So please do share. Thank you so much for all your support. I'm going to see you in the next show. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Vishnupriya. Bye. Cheers.